One down, 13 to go for the U.S. men's national team as this very important benchmark for 2022 World Cup qualifying, which begins the most important stretch for the sport in this country's history, in my humble opinion. The qualification for 2022 after not making it, leading into hopefully a successful World Cup, leading to you hosting it in 2026 and hopefully a Women's World Cup here in this country not too far down the pike either. So the U.S., not to get sidetracked, a lot to unpack here. We're going to see what happened in the El Salvador game. As I tried to tell you here last week, this was going to be a grind. And you look at the stats, 9 U.S. men's national team starters making their World Cup qualifying debut. Fourth youngest starting 11 in the modern era of World Cup qualifying. Tyler Adams, 22, the youngest player to captain a World Cup qualifying game for the U.S., all these guys playing on a Bobby Boswell had a great tweet. He says, all these guys are used to playing on a flat surface. They'll get used to it in the second half down at the Cuscatlan. That ball was bouncing all over the place. It's a trampoline. I'm not complaining. I'm just letting you guys know this is the way it is in CONCACAF. And this is the Soccer OG. Foo! Check out the Soccer OG podcast, where all podcasts are available. And please subscribe, hit that button. Let's get into it. So we knew this was a wet behind the ears team, and they looked exactly like that in this game. The starting 11, Matt Turner, back four, Serginho Dest on the left, Tim Ream, Miles Robinson, DeAndre Yedlin. Midfield, Brendan Aronson, Weston McKennie, Tyler Adams. In the front, Conrad De La Fuente, Josh Sargent, and Gio Reyna. All 5 substitutes were used. You had Christian Roldan come in for Brendan Aronson, Sebastian Lletget for DeAndre Yedlin. You had Kellen Acosta come in for Conrad, Dest replaced by Anthony Robinson, and Jordan Pefok coming in for Josh Sargent. So there you go. They used 16 players. There's going to be rotation. Second game is on Sunday. I want to say something quickly about Conrad De La Fuente. What an incredible rise in 2 months. Wasn't really in the U.S. picture. Looked too young. Signs with Marseille, becomes an everyday player, gets called in, and then starts. He was okay. Nobody in the attacking end was good or better, and that's fine. The rule of thumb in World Cup qualifying anywhere, I think even more so in CONCACAF because of the challenges it possess, tie on the road, win at home. So you're still on trajectory ahead of your game Sunday in Nashville against Canada. We'll get to Canada here in a moment. So a very young team. You look for bright spots. This is going to sound crazy, but Tim Ream was my most valuable player, and I was not happy when I saw him in the starting 11. I didn't think it, but he was calming. Matt Turner, another calming effect. Miles Robinson, you didn't know he was there because he was doing what he had to do. Fullback's a different story. Serginho Dest, who I kind of rang some alarm bells, playing out of position on the left side, cannot play there again. Do you put him on the right? What do you do on the left? Remember, they only brought 4 fullbacks here, so this is a bit of a dilemma. Do you play him on the right on Sunday where he'll likely have to mark Alphonso Davies? I don't think you can do that. So I think Dest goes to the bench. Maybe it's not a bad idea, but it's crazy that a U.S. men's national team could have a guy who starts for Barcelona but can't start for the U.S. team. Could happen. I'd like to see Dest get out of it because we saw him early in the summer where he looked, unplayable at times. So hopefully that gets resolved. Now, so many people thought this would be an empty stadium or it would be 20,000. It was completely full. It was electric. There was a part where they were going through the national anthem and fireworks were going off. And Gio Reyna did one of these. He's like, when I saw that, I got nervous. I go, that's not the reaction we need to see here. Still, again, these are kids. And it's okay. If you're in El Salvador, you boo the anthem, you do all that, do whatever you can. This is World Cup qualifying. Anything without throwing stuff at someone's head or running on the field and doing something drastic is fair game. U.S. won't do it here, but that's what happens in these places. And El Salvador, which has been frothing at the bit for a team that they can cheer. And to any Salvadoreños who watch the Soccer OG, you are very welcome here. You should be very happy about your squad. They are fit. They are hard team to be. They play well together. They have a great spirit. So It's going to get better. Hugo Perez is getting very close. They're not going to make the World Cup, but they could spoil it for a team or two. The field was really tough. There was no control of the ball ever. I think I did mention, maybe I did not mention, but they're also playing away. Remember the Gold Cup Nations League? This was all here in Kansas City and Denver and Las Vegas. They were in the U.S. the whole time. This is the first time they've been on the road since they played Switzerland. And this was much different than an empty crowd there. But this was hostile as we expected, and this is the way it's going to be. The good news, the U.S. have got this game under their belt. There was talk, Tyler Adams beforehand goes, we're looking to get 9 points out of 3. I wish he didn't say that. Tyler Adams was one of the better players tonight. I love him as a captain. He is going to be the permanent captain for a long time. But saying you're going for 9 points, don't say that. Don't, because it's not realistic. Now you know. I heard some people on the broadcast saying Canada's a must-win. It's not a must-win, but you got to win your home games here. There's no must-wins this early age. I don't want to temper enthusiasm. I think the U.S. will beat Canada, but we got to be careful what we put on this team's shoulders because this thing could go sideways real quick. And that's why I'm like, when they're playing El Salvador, not getting the chances, they got a point out of it. This could have been worse. El Salvador was pushing. This could have been worse. Defensively, it's good. By the way, with Dest, do you play with the 3 center backs? I think they're going to try that at a game. Maybe Canada. And that would bring him into it. You know, this is great. People are scratching their head because we were El Salvador was right at us, and they have guys like Marvin Monterosa, Joaquin Rivas, Narciso Orellana. Who are these guys? So the U.S. will get that going. I don't know who to say played well. I like our midfield in Tyler and Weston McKennie. Neither were bright spots, but they work. There were some good chances. There was that great chance by Weston McKennie, middle of the second half, which probably the best of the bunch. It didn't go in, so be it. We'll see how it goes. And don't forget that they have at Honduras. So if you thought San Salvador was a bit crazy, Honduras, San Pedro Sula is going to be equally, if not more so. So there we go. I don't want to get too far into it. It's an opening. It is what it is. As for the next game, the U.S. will face Canada at home. Canada played in Toronto against Honduras, which is the United States' third opponent next Wednesday, I believe. It's next Wednesday. Canada in the first half, very young team. A lot of guys making their World Cup qualifying debuts. They were playing at home, and they looked a lot like this U.S. team in the first half. Couldn't apply any pressure. Honduras took the lead. And Canada had a very good second half. Davies really raised his game. He looked just terrifying. I mean, he was running down. And Honduras, Canada's going to get better. I think Canada's thinking the same thing as the U.S. right now. All right, we got that under our belt. Let's see what we can do. It's going to be a hard game on Sunday. I can guarantee you that. I want to say something about the Canadian team. And I don't necessarily think this is a bad thing. But they're not very cuddly, likable. They're not. I did not expect to say this, but their coach is always posturing in the crowd. That, I'm like, would you stop that, John Herdman? He's like, I was struck. What is that? And then Stephen Eustachio approached the Honduran coach. It was odd. Lots of complaining. It's fine. It's identity. But I'm like, all right. Don't think, hey, these Canadians are the nicest people in the world. Maybe that's true, but their soccer team, not necessarily. They have different traits. It may pay off in a big way for them. We shall see. But I did want to point that out. Kyle Larin, they got a penalty. Davies was involved in the buildup. Justin Hoylett was brought down. There was the goal by Kyle Larin from the penalty spot. Honduras had a really good chance from Brian Mora, which was saved by Milan Borjan. I was surprised he was starting over Maxime Crépeau, but Borjan gets in there. Canada could have lost this game, and that would have been cataclysmic, certainly at this early stage. By the way, I was hoping Sebastian Lletget came out there and scored a goal late. He actually, I know there's people who don't like Lletget, and he's not going to be a long-term player for the U.S. He had the best cross of the game in the 5 minutes that he played, or whatever, 10 minutes. He had the best cross. And it was off his left foot, played it in. It was pretty good. But it's going to be tricky. The U.S., have to put in a better offensive effort. They'll feel comfortable. They've been training in Nashville. Christian Pulisic is waiting for them there. Let's not forget about that. It'll be interesting who starts in goal. To me, it's very hard to pull out Matt Turner. He has started, I think, now 10 straight games, and they're not giving up goals. If you don't give up goals, you're qualifying for the World Cup. So there you go. 4 games of World Cup qualifying. All of them were ties. Mexico won their game, and now we move on to Sunday. This has been enthralling to see the reaction. We all love the sport. We've got to raise the roof and talk to people and get them excited about it. Success is the key, though. But I was on Twitter and watching the coverage everywhere. It was good to see it. People were, guys wearing their. I'm not a jersey guy. Wearing a USA jersey. It's not my thing. I just wear silly things like this. But I saw guys wearing their jerseys, and it kind of warmed my heart. So I was glad to see all of that. And let's do it again. This is going to be fun. And then it gets even more fun in the World Cup. And now we got San Salvador behind us. The Soccer OG, please subscribe. We'll be here after the game on Sunday. As I always do, I'll go through my paperwork again. And hopefully we'll be talking about a victory. But good first step, as I predicted, get the point, move along, live